Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Hit and Run Squad, a Korean crime action drama from 2019 that was directed by Jun-hee Han, who also directed Coin Locker Girl from 2015. Pretty good flick. Now the film follows a police lieutenant, played by Hyo-jin Kong, who attempts but fails to expose her corrupt police commissioner boss. So she's demoted to the division of the police force that investigates hit-and-run accidents. Now, fortunately for her, the commissioner is taking bribes from an emotionally unstable champion car racer, played by Jun-seok Cho, who was implicated in a deadly traffic collision that was a hit-and-run. So since this event crosses into her department in her investigations, she intends to continue her goal of taking down the commissioner. An oddball traffic cop, played by Jun-yeol Ryu, assists her. So Hit and Run Squad, in my opinion, is a surprisingly entertaining movie. The thing that caught me off guard was that I was interested in the conflicts as much as the car chases. You know, take the bad guy as an example. And so all this stuff happens very early in the film. But the introduction to this bad guy is interesting to me because he trashes his own car to make a point to a young punk who cut him off on the road. And I thought that was a pretty cool scene because in most of these kinds of films, you know, the characters have a love for their own car. You know, they cherish it. But in this movie, the dude trashes it just to make a point. And I like that. Then, this bad guy sits down at a business meeting with some Glenfiddich and Lafroig scotch. It's pretty good choices. Where he attempts to establish his influence over these other people here that are a part of this company. And it's pretty shady dealings. And there have been scenes like this in other films before. I mean, I immediately thought of The Untouchables, the Robert De Niro scene, the meeting scene with him as being one example. But what makes it interesting in this film is that this guy has a major problem with people who come from money without earning it themselves. You know, people who inherit their wealth and their success. You know, this bad guy has a hatred for people who simply inherit their success from their parents. So he has a certain perspective on success that I found to be rather fascinating. I also liked his interactions with other corrupt officials, because he just steps right up to them and just talks smack to their face all the time. So I don't know, there was conflict between the protagonists and in between the antagonists, and I thought it was pretty good. These little character moments kind of really made Hit and Run work for me. And that's just one example, is the bad guy. The characters are not necessarily deep or complex here, but they were engaging to watch regardless. I really like the performances in this one too. I mean, Hyo-jin Kong is always really good. She plays a no-nonsense cop, and she's entirely convincing. Jun-yeol Ryu does a fine job of portraying the different sides of his character that come out during later stages in the film. Like, at first, it just seems like kind of a Columbo clone style cop, where he's a little awkward, but he still gets the job done. But there's more to him than that. And actually, the best scene of the entire film showcases him at the center stage. And then we have Jun-seok Cho as the bad guy. Now, every time I see this actor, I immediately think of his role in King Two Hearts, the K-drama, where he played a very likable character. So seeing him as the bad guy in this film was actually pretty interesting from my perspective. You know, I can imagine some viewers might not like his occasional stuttering that he implemented for his character, but I thought it worked. And then you get Jung-ah-yeom, the evil stepmother from A Tale of Two Sisters, and Sung-min Lee, who have supporting roles as well. So this has got a good cast. Now, all of this non-action stuff it worked for me, and that's pretty important because it occupies much of that opening hour. If you're like me and you actually enjoy the opening hour of this film, you'll definitely like the rest of it because it kicks up to another level by the midpoint. You know, the first legit action scene occurs near the midpoint. It kind of locked me in for the rest of the runtime. There are basically 3 car chase set pieces, all of which during the second half of the film. They're filmed nicely and are also pretty exciting. They're not as crazy or over the top as like a Fast and Furious film. They're more realistic and grounded, but I still think they work pretty well. one of the car chases actually ends in a way that's very realistic, but you almost never see in an actual movie. So I thought that was pretty cool. There are a lot of things about Hit and Run Squad that I like, but I'm not really sure how most people will react to this film. When I'm watching it, I'm not sure if I'm going to be in the minority or the majority in terms of how I feel about this. You know, some people might get bored during that opening hour where there really isn't a lot of action. Or maybe the action won't be as insane as they expect. I mean, there are certain aspects to the script writing in this film that could have been improved upon. Like, for example, one thing that kind of distracted me was that there's a rogue policewoman, you know, a person in the police force, who at one point orders an assassination using police forces. And you kind of wonder how she's able to do this without, you know, higher-ups asking questions about it, or her being, you know, exposed as, like, corrupt. And there's stuff like that that occurs at times. Really, the procedural and legal aspects and evidentiary aspects of this film are probably its weakest elements, but I found more than enough entertainment to justify repeat viewings. I mean, those are problems with the film, but I didn't really mind too much, just because I like the conflicts and everything else that was kind of going on. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to rewatch this one in the future. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I would say that go in with modest expectations. I just have a feeling. I got a feeling that I'm going to be in kind of the minority opinion on this one. But I do recommend Hit and Run Squad. It's available on Viki.com. You might need a subscription for that. And then Region 3 DVD as well with English subtitles. So check this one out and tell me what you think about this, because I'm really not sure how most people are going to react to it. And as always, I'll see you next time.